Hi, I wanted to talk about real self-esteem versus, oh, a lot of vapid, empty sort of things that mindsets we get into. And for me, real self-esteem comes from building something in the material world. And that something can sometimes be, because the way my life has gone, I've lost a lot of people and stuff like that. So it's given me some insights into some of the less material building that people do or can do. And it's genuine self-esteem that I have managed to eke out for myself because I see the results that occur. I just can't say enough about just the snippets of things that I've brought to this video and gotten out of Sadhguru. When I see that my happiness level, my joyfulness, comes forth effortlessly when I do these right things, I base my self-esteem on my ability to allow the happiness to come through. Next thing you know, the next natural thing that comes to me is, how can I share? I have this non-material nugget of overflow of joy and self-esteem to offer. How can I articulate this and give it away? It's, I start thinking about things I've learned, like principles. When I start getting in this, happier state, I start thinking about the principle of becoming of value to other people. Learning about what people need, such as self-esteem, which must be built on something real, not necessarily tangible, but definitely something real. Learning to celebrate it, and then give it away. They say that the best things in life are free. It's true that money is important. It is important. There's a certain rock bottom reality to the material world. That is true. But after you've attained a certain level, I mean, not that I've been there, but I can learn from others. I've heard a lot of billionaires talk a lot about there comes a point where it gets to be like, how much money do you need? We can all relate to delving into excess. You do need a certain amount. I mean, I looked into happiness for a while. I read some books on happiness, and you do need, there is, you can translate it into a practical figure, and somebody laid it out for me, I don't know, 10 years ago. I think 10 years ago it was $10 million, so with inflation it's more. But I mean, they covered all the areas of, certain maintenance to happiness, having the ability, certain freedoms and stuff. Lifestyle, whatever. But there does come a point where, I think that people that spend their younger years focusing on money, and achieving that, hopefully, maintenance amount, that is no longer at another stage of life enough. And what you need is more investment in the intangible things that bring value to human beings. And so, I guess the bottom line is that it doesn't matter what your focus is. What matters, in other words, did I make a mistake? Did I not make enough money? Did I spend all my time being concerned with money? I'm touching on this concept. I'm thinking of Roger, of course, who's the most recent, closest person to me that I've been in contact with that has been in hospice. He was in hospice. I was there beside him while he was going through hospice, and he was experiencing regrets. And one of the things that I have focused on, past, I want to say close to 20 years, because of my caretaking experience and my closeness with people who were dying that I cared about. My focus for myself has been living life without regrets. And in a way, if there has been a common strain among all of my videos, what I'm trying to deliver, perhaps, is that I don't want you to have any regrets. You know, a lot of guys like to say, oh, I'm living my best life, I'm living life to the fullest, and yet there are things missing in their lives. We're so social, and we long to connect with other human beings. And I think that just in general, I never want to say that there isn't an exception to the rule, because there always is. But just in general, men seem to be very focused on right and wrong, trying to avoid regrets. And yet life dishes out things that are so difficult sometimes. And, you know, nobody's perfect. I wished I could have said something to Roger that would have enabled him to forgive himself. But I just kind of stayed stuck there with him. The only thing I could think of to do was make that video about him and his regrets, and urge you not to make the same mistake he made, because Roger was an extremely expert and unusual human being who had some very usual common problems. I sincerely care about you, and I appreciate when you decide to stop and make a comment. If I made you think of something of value to yourself, something important, I'd like to hear about it.